Hello, my name is Dr. John Cipolla. I teach clarinet and saxophone at Western Kentucky University in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And this is the All-State solo for clarinet for the 2012 All-State. And this is marked at 96. There are a few things to keep an eye on in this piece. Number one, we want to play this as flowing and as legato as possible. And a lot of that has to do with a combination of your air control and your fingers. As far as the air goes, we often will take a very big breath from down in here, and then any remaining up in here, and we control that expulsion of the air into the mouthpiece, and we often will try to have a lot more reserve than we actually need to play with. That way we can shape our phrases and our dynamics. Number two, our fingers need to be over the keys in a curved position like this. So they shouldn't be flat like this, they shouldn't be at an angle, they should be a little bit coming down like this and a little bit coming down like this. The thumb should be on the thumb rest right here so that we can have just where the nail sort of meets the skin. We don't want to have it too far over like this. Okay, so if we do that with our thumb, our fingers look like this, and then all we have to do is move them from this knuckle joint in the back here, and we avoid doing too much of this bending of that first knuckle joint. So if things move like this, then we have good efficient finger motion. And so a combination of the finger motion, legato connection of the fingers, nice smooth depression of the fingers, and a combination of good air control and good reserve of air will help our legato feeling to come out. Also, phrasing-wise, we want to think in groups of notes rather than individual notes. So for instance, instead of thinking so we have one big breath that shapes the phrase like that. We have in bar 14 a breath mark right before bar 14, and what we want to do with that, you have a couple of options because you have straight 16th notes through it. I like to maybe slightly slow down beat 2 and take the quick breath, just a very, very quick one, and then sort of speed up into the next bar. So now that's one way to do it. Another way to do it would be to just keep the tempo the same and get the breath just as quickly as you possibly can. So the goal, though, is just simply to play as musically as possible. And musically here would mean to not interrupt the phrase. And so that's why I like to maybe sort of shape the end of the phrase with a slight decrescendo, maybe a slight retard, very, very slightly, and then move on after that. The trills, or the grace notes, here in the very first bar, I use a left-handed B here, and I hold that down and just make a quick little motion with my C-sharp key on the right side. And you'll notice that we have on the left side a B here, and on the right side a B here. And we have the same thing with the C here, and the left-handed C here, and the same thing with a left-handed C-sharp here, and a right-handed C-sharp here. So we want to utilize these. Many times we get used to using just one finger or the next, but here in this case we want to utilize both. Staccatos and articulations. I would say in this case we do have some dotted notes that don't have to be absolutely staccatissimo. They should just be nice and light. And so we keep the air reserve and we just say nice and lightly on the tongue, or rather on the reed, tip of the tongue to the tip of the reed. So they don't have to be ultra short. The trill, only one trill is necessary. They're really more of a grace note than a real authentic trill, especially as we get into the tempo increasing on this. And let me see if there's anything else we need to talk about. Meno mosso, right at the end of the first page there, or at the end, right before your tempo comes back, bar 31, is a little bit slower there, kind of like a little retard, and then we go back into our tempo after there. The high B has a trill marked over it, and there's two ways to do it. So you can either use the third key up here and just do a quick trill like that, or the bottom side two keys here. I was using this key here, but both will work. And so somehow with this key, it just pops out a little bit lighter. It doesn't jump out at me as much for me on this one. Okay, good. Well, good luck to you all, and thank you very much for listening.